Welcome back to another week of the League Weekly Series. This weekend is going to be a big one as it is the fifth and final Super Nationals event of the season at USA All-Star Super Nationals with 700 points to the league on the line. But it's not only that. There's 3 other events with the opportunity to earn 600 points. It's gearing up to be a busy weekend for the League by Varsity All-Star presented by Corksicle. Let's dive into all the latest news. One thing super special about cheer is those close bonds created from spending so much time with your teammates. One might say that your cheer family might even become like your second family. We're going to take things out to Tuscaloosa, Alabama and check in with ACE of Tuscaloosa to hear a special story about how the ACE family stepped in for Callie Elliott when she needed them more than ever.
It's just always been a second home for me. I've always been able to go to ACE and have people that love me there, and I have another family there.
For 11 seasons, Callie Elliott has made memories and grown as an athlete with ACE of Tuscaloosa. But it wasn't just Callie. Her entire family has grown with the ACE family.
So I called the hat store in the mall, and they said, yeah, we got red and black. So I said, okay, I'll be by there when I get off. So I went, bought the hat, got them to stitch Cheer Dad on it, and took one of her old practice bows and stitched it to the top myself.
Everyone loves him on the team. He is the cheer dad of the team. I love him being here. He's always been here to support me and always tries to be there with everything.
It started for fun, but that cheer dad hat has brought happiness and support in one of the most difficult times for the Elliott family. Callie's mom, Mitzi Elliott, unexpectedly passed away in November of 2020. But it was the ACE of Tuscaloosa cheer family that was right there to become family.
After she passed away, one of the first people, because Krista's in Tuscaloosa, 45 miles from the house, and we don't run the same social circles, but that morning she called me. I don't know how she got my phone number, but she's one of the first people I remember calling. ACE is not, the gym here, it's not just a gym. They take you in, they make a family out of you. We're there for each other.
There were times that I really didn't want to go to practice, but I was thinking to myself, I was like, if I go, then I'm not going to be thinking about what's actually going on outside of the gym, and I could just focus on what I've been doing my whole life and practice and everything. So I think it has really helped me stay out of a dark place instead of me being able to get down in a hole and not be able to get myself out.
It was the support from her ACE family, the happiness from cheer, and the unwavering support from her dad that helped Callie keep pushing forward.
It has meant the world for me because I've also supported him, but he's always been a rock for me to lean on no matter what. He's always there. When he used to drive me to practice 3 days a week before I could start driving, and that meant the world to me because he would come home straight from work and immediately turn around and go right back up to Tuscaloosa where he worked at.
Now, as Callie Elliott wraps up her senior year and her 11th season with ACE of Tuscaloosa, she takes the stage with passion and pride, knowing her mom is always close by at heart.
I do feel her. And I know she's watching. She's so proud of me now because of where I've grown since she has been passed. But one thing that hurts me the most is coming off the stage and not being able to run and give her a huge hug. But other than that, she's always there for me. I just know it, and it makes me feel like I'm at home, being able to compete and know that she's still watching me.
Mitzi will be very, very proud, and I see a lot of her in that girl right there. It's a lot of fun. Hey.
Well, the time has come. It is the fifth and final Super National event of the season coming up this weekend with the USA All-Star Super Nationals. 700 points in the line. Ariel, this is going to be a big one.
Yeah, this is the final opportunity for these teams to earn 700 points on the leaderboard, which could really cause some big jumps in that to see who's going to finish out on the top.
And not only that, we might see some teams really lock in their spots. There's, of course, still some more events even after this one, but getting those 700 points, they could solidify their spots. Also, another thing we're keeping an eye on, there's going to be great competition. Teams from across the nation, a lot of great level 6 teams. You've got like Top Gun All-Stars Revelation coming into town. Of course, some of those staple California teams, the California All-Stars, OC All-Stars, SCV All-Stars. We also have the West Coast Cup we're keeping an eye on this weekend.
Yes, the West Coast Cup is huge because it is focusing on 3 of those West Coast competitions. Really big opportunities for you there. You're going to have Spirit Sports Grand Nationals, the American Grand Nationals, and last but not least, USA All-Star Super Nationals. If you win those 3, West Coast Cup is yours.
Yeah, very prestigious to have in your name as well. So we'll be seeing. There's a couple teams in the mix that might be taking that home this weekend. It's just going to be a fun one. What is one thing you're really looking forward to this weekend?
I'm so excited for all the teams that are deciding to take the journey over to California, honestly. Teams from Hawaii, New Jersey, everywhere coming into town to try and take those 700 points.
A couple from even Canada as well, which will be really cool to see. But like we mentioned, we some great teams that are going to be coming from the League 6, but really across all levels. These competition divisions are deep. Lots of teams, lots of great D2 teams coming. I've taken a look at the leaderboard. We might get into it a little bit later, but there are some teams that are just a little bit away from really locking in those first place spots on the leaderboard. So I'm excited to see how that all plays out. Joining us now to dive into all things USA All-Star Super Nationals ahead of a big weekend is Matt Godo from Varsity. Matt, this weekend, we just said it, it's a big one. The last chance for teams to earn 700 points towards the league. Why is this going to be so important?
Oh my gosh, Amber, there's so many reasons. Number one, it's the largest event west of Texas. There's almost 600 teams at this event, so the stakes are high. There are serious bragging rights just to become a USA Super National Champion, but also 700 points in the league. And I know you guys have been tracking all season long. I've been tuning into the league live shows, and I know 700 points is going to make a big difference to a lot of these point races.
And you mentioned it, there are so many teams going out west this weekend for this event, teams from all over. And we're starting to see these league races are really coming down to the wire. Is there any specific race you're really going to be keeping an eye on this weekend?
Ooh, I think that everyone has been tuned into the League 6. It's been so exciting to add that dynamic to the league in its second season. You know, I kind of built my fantasy league teams for League 6 early in the year, and I'm heartbroken to see not everyone is going to all the 700 point events. So it's going to be interesting to see who's going to snatch up those 700 points. I've already talked to Lark. I've got some friends on the inside to see how that 700 points could play across the board. We're going to see some shakeups across the country, not just from the teams competing at USA this weekend, but some other teams that are replacing because they can go to 6 events. Some teams are scoring higher at the 7th or 8th event of the season and knocking those lower point events off their schedule. So I'm really excited to see what's going to happen. And I know for a fact that 2 divisions are going to see some change-ups after 700 points.
Last time I checked, there were just about 600 teams registered for this event. Maybe more by now, who knows? But just to have so many teams coming from all across the nation, even some not from the U.S., how exciting is that to see this all play out this weekend?
It's super exciting. You know, I was looking at the divisions a little bit earlier. 26 in Level 2 Junior, 28 Level 1 Junior, 35 in Level 1 Youth, and 40 in Level 2 Junior across D1 and D2. Stiff competition. I know everyone thinks of USA as being such a West Coast event, which, I mean, beautiful weather, palm trees. It is the iconic Southern California Super National for us. But we've got Star Athletics from New Jersey. We've got teams from Ontario and Alberta. From Texas, we've got Stars Vipers Champion Cheer, Steel Athletics. I mean, it's going to be very exciting to see all these teams take the stage. And what I love is, even if you're not a West Coast person or one of the special guests we have from out of region, everybody needs to be tuned into USA on Varsity TV this weekend, because across the Youth Summit, the D2 Summit, and the Summit, we've got 29 reigning Summit champions, which means for some of those teams who think that they've done great all year and they're getting ready to make that trip down to Orlando or Tampa, just wait. Because there are some teams that are going to surprise you at USA that have made some tweaks and polishes to their routines that are showing off in Anaheim this weekend before they make that trip down to Florida.
Well, there you have it. It's going to be an awesome weekend out west. Lots of great action. We will be glued to Varsity TV to see who picks up those 700 points and how these league races might shape out. Matt Godo, thank you so much for joining us. Have an awesome weekend out there at USA Super Nationals. There are a lot of points on the line this weekend with several 600-point events and, of course, USA All-Star Super Nationals out in the West. So we're going to bring to you right now a couple races that we're going to be keeping our eye on. But first and foremost, you got to know that this really is the Wild Wild West. Let's take a look at D1 Co-Ed out in the West region. 7 of the top 10 of these teams that you see right here are going to be competing at USA All-Star Super Nationals with the opportunity to earn 700 points, but 2 to keep an eye on. The California All-Stars Jay Wild currently at number 4, and the California All-Stars Karma currently at number 6. Both teams are only at 5 events right now, so they have the opportunity to earn those 700 points. They're very much in the running to take over first place. But it's not just out at USA All-Star Super Nationals. We want to call your eye to Rival Athletics Carnage at number 1, 3,446 points. But they're at 6 events. They're heading to the American Celebration Salt Lake City Nationals with 500 points on the line. This is one we're really going to want to break down for you. So take a look at this. Their score could go up by 128 points this weekend. But how's that going to work? The lowest score they could drop is 372 points. That was from earlier in the season at ASC King of the Jungle Salt Lake. So if they drop 372 for the potential 500 points on the line this weekend, that could take them to 3,574 points this weekend. That would then put them out of reach of both those California All-Stars teams, Jay Wild and Karma, so they could lock in that first place spot. Truly the Wild Wild West, like we say. Now we're going to jump over to D2 Senior in the Northeast region. Plenty of these teams with the opportunity to earn 600 points as they head to the ACDA Reach the Beach Grand Nationals. So let's take a look at what we've got going on here in D2 Senior Northeast. Remember, hanging on to that top spot, Hagerstown Heat All-Stars Green Envy, 3,348 points. They're from Level 1 Senior. Strong performances every time they touch the mat. A lot of people know who they are. Really fun to watch. They could replace a 473-point total from back in December. If they take the win this weekend for 600 points, that could increase their score by 127 points. So a team that could hang on to that top spot. But we also want to point out, currently not even in the top 10 right now, down to 13th place is York Elite All-Stars Senior Legacy. They currently have 2,924 points from 5 events. A win for 600 points at Reach the Beach Grand Nationals could bump them all the way up to 3,524 points. That could be enough for them to be right there in the mix for first place. So definitely an exciting one we're going to watch unfold this weekend. But not only that, take a look at this right now. 4th through 7th place right here, only separated by a couple of points. 3,169, 168, 167. This is a really tight race to follow along with. So you can also follow along by heading to tv.varsity.com. Click on the standings tab. Also, some exciting news we want to share with you all. As of April 9th, 2024, coming up here soon, all eligible teams who are in the top 25 of the standard 40 league conferences without a bid to the Summit Championships could receive an at-large bid. They will. The top 25 are going to receive an at-large bid to their respective championship events at the end of the season. Something to keep an eye on as well.
As we continue on in March, there are still lots of points up for grabs with our final 700-point event weekend. Let's go ahead and see what we have. Kicking us off in the West Coast, we are going to have USA All-Star Super Nationals worth 700 points, followed by ACDA Reach the Beach Grand Nationals worth 600 points.
Then we're going to take it out to the Southeast. Spirit Sports Myrtle Beach Nationals, another 600-point event. Another big one also in the Midwest with Cheer Power Grand Nationals, also worth 600 points. And to close things out in the Southwest, it's the Athletic Championships Houston Nationals. That one's going to be worth 400 points. So there you have it. Lots of exciting things going on this weekend. You can, of course, find the full list of what will be streaming on Varsity TV by going to tv.varsity.com. We'll be keeping up with all these races to see how this leaderboard might shape out. Be sure to join us next Thursday for the latest news.